Before we go into our Bible study on the Gospel of Luke, I wanted to take some time and go over the biography of the man himself, who he was, and what it was that set his gospel apart from the others. Luke was born around 1 or 2 AD in Antioch, Syria. There are some disputes on when he died. Some scholars believe he died a martyr sometime after Paul was killed, while others say he died at the ripe old age of 84 in Thebes, Greece. He was a physician by trade, as referenced by Paul in Colossians 4:14. There is a belief by some that he was also a painter and that he painted portraits of Mary and Peter. However, there is no evidence to support this claim. Despite this, he is still called the patron saint of artists. His writing style gives him the accreditation of being a historian. His gospel and the book of Acts are widely considered by many to be the most historically accurate than any other book of the New Testament. Due to him being from Antioch and the reference by Paul in Colossians 4:11 through 14, it is safe to say that Luke was a Gentile, meaning not Jewish. However, he was very versed in his knowledge of the Old Testament. We can assume that given his knowledge of the Old Testament, his status as a physician, and his accurate historical writing style, that Luke was a highly educated man. Luke 1:2 through 3 tells us that Luke was not a first-hand witness of Jesus. In fact, it is widely believed that Luke never saw Jesus. Most of his work was inspired by God and told to him by his encounters with those who had first-hand knowledge of Jesus. A great portion of his work was more than likely inspired by the Gospel of Mark. Luke was a disciple of Paul and helped greatly in his missionary work. Paul mentions Luke 3 times in his writings, the first being in Colossians 4:14. Paul refers to him as a dear friend. Second, in Philemon 1:24, Paul refers to him as one of my fellow workers. And lastly, in 2 Timothy 4:11, he says, "Only Luke is with me." The Gospel of Luke is very different from the other Gospels, in not only detail of people, places, and things, but also in its message. The other Gospels did have a message about salvation in Christ, but I believe Luke goes much deeper than this, in that he shows Jesus' compassion for the sick, the poor, and the outcast throughout his writing. Only in the Gospel of Luke will you find the 18 parables of Jesus, including the Good Samaritan, the prodigal son, and the lost sheep. Luke's writing also focuses on Jesus' interaction with Gentiles and women, showing that the good news of the gospel was for all of mankind. He also gives a great and insightful account of the births of Jesus and John the Baptist, which include both annunciations. These things are only found in his Gospels. So now that we know more about the life and work of Luke, let's dive into our Bible study.